YouTube thing didn't just like blow my plans out of the water. I still have things I gotta get done. So it's a good thing kind of that it happened, because I'm not like focused on YouTube this week. I'm kind of focused just on the things I have to do, and I have to get them done. Because my cousin, she's my cousin's daughter, so she's old enough to be my daughter if I would have had a child in my 20s. So she's coming to live with me. She's in a difficult situation in Tennessee, and I'm trying to work things out with her. She's got some immigration things. She's Cuban, and she's a doctor in Cuba. But I'm trying to help her so she can get her certification and come and live with me on the Airstream. That way she's private with her son in her own space. And those are things that I'm working on behind the scenes. I'm also trying to get all of the projects done, because then I'm going to be running around with her. She doesn't drive. She wants to get a driver's license, so I'm going to have to be teaching her. The same thing Christian has been learning to drive. And so I'm basically going to be everybody's chauffeur in the house for a while. Sorry, this thing doesn't hold the phone steady. And then her son's going to be starting school. He's going to catching the bus, so when she works I'll be able to be there and watch her son. So my whole life is going to change. When that happens, life changes. The good thing is I'm really looking forward to have somebody on the property with me, so when I do want to travel, I can teach her how to what to do with the chickens and stuff, and she can watch the chickens. I'm not going to be traveling like cross country for right now. My plan is to go to Alaska in 2024. Gas goes back down to the $2 something, under $3. Yes, that trip to Alaska is going to happen. Hopefully it will happen. But I have a lot of things on the homestead that are happening right now, and that's where my life has headed to. And that's what I'm doing, and I'm passionate about everything that I'm doing right now. So God just picked the perfect timing for me, because before I was passionate to come here, and then I got sidetracked with RVing. That became my passion for a long time, and I still love traveling and RVing. But I realize and recognize that I can't do that right now. And it's not wise investment for me to be spending money traveling at $5 a gallon, where that money I could be putting it into building up the homestead for me and for the family. So it just so happens that now I'm going to have family that I'm going to be responsible for as well when they arrive. So everything is working out according to God's plan, and I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to be a servant of His for right now, for the people that He needs me to take care of and be there for. It makes me very happy to do that. So I'm going to try to get as much as I can of the big projects before she comes. In other words, I'm trying to do the chicken coop this week. Welcome to my new chicken coop. This is the shed that we used here. We don't have a lot of stuff here, but the things that are in here now, they are going into my garage, and my car is going out of the garage. I got the house reorganized, make sure the garage is organized so I can get those items in, and just things like that is what I'm working on, so that I can spend most of my time with her, taking her to her immigration appointments, taking her to her job interviews and applications, things like that I have to take care of. If she has to get medical, her son also has to make changes for their insurance and things like that. So all of this is going to be a lot of driving around and stuff in the next few weeks. So I'm not going to have time to do a lot of these projects. So I'm in a hurry to get this stuff done before she arrives. And trust me, the situation that she is in is not a good situation where she is right now and the way that she's living her life. But it's very difficult because she has an immigration status at the moment that is pending. And for me to take her out of there is very difficult unless we know for sure that we can do that. So she's going through a rough time right now, and I get that. And I'm just going to be here supportive for her as much as I can. I'll tell you what's going on. So this week I'm done with the garden. I still have one watermelon. It's almost done. One of them split open one day. That was beautiful. The next day I woke up in the morning, it split open. It was split open. So it cracked open. So the one that I have hanging on the trellis is looking really good. So I'm excited about that one. And then I had a cucumber that I ate, which was a little bit wasn't quite ripe yet, but I picked it. I was afraid that it was. We were starting to get bugs. So I realized that during the heat of the summer, it's really not smart for us to be doing any gardening. I am like so totally toasted. My skin is dry like leather from so much sun that I've been getting, even though I do wear a hat and stuff in the garden. My stuff was growing, but it just looked like was not healthy. It just didn't have the vibrancy that I need. And I'm like, why do people's plants look so green and lush? We were getting a lot of rains. I realized that I have a lot of sand on my property. And because when I first did the garden, I bought a lot of new rich soil. And I've been adding compost. But I have a pitch in my garden. And with the trellis as the wall that it closes the garden, it's not going to do anything for the top layer soil when the rains come in and moves all of that dirt. You know, where does it go? It goes down to another part that's not in the garden anymore. So when I realized I don't have a lot of that rich stuff anymore, a lot of that stuff is gone. So I thought, you know, I'm going to go to Home Depot, and I'm on the way there today, and I'm going to buy like 10 or 20 sacks of, I hope I can fit them in this car, by the way, because I really don't want to take my camper off. So I have to buy sacks of compost. So that's what I'm going today, to buy the compost. I'm going to turn it into my soil with all of those leaves that I mulched in. And then in order to prevent weeds from coming, I'm growing cover crop of black-eyed peas. So what I did was I learned this on YouTube, and I thought, oh, let me try it. So I had a brand new pack of black-eyed peas. They're probably maybe 2 months old. They're from Walmart. Probably paid 80 cents for them. And I planted the beans. And guess what? I have a pot full of plants. So this package, I know is good. And I'm going to, and I'll probably buy another package today when I go out. I'm going to plant my entire garden with black-eyed peas for the next 2 months. And it's not because I want the peas, it's just that I want a cover crop. I want a crop that covers so the weeds don't come in. I'm going to eventually, before I plant the garden in the fall, I'm going to turn that into the compost. That's going to give rich. So now I'm putting the compost, I'm going to put in the cover crop, I'm going to start growing that, and then I'm going to till that in and probably add some more compost just before I go ahead and turn, just when right after I turn it. Plus, I also put some wooden boards. I had some wood in my garage that I'd stored. They were all cut up sheets from an old shelving that we were going to do. And since I just had that wood there, I thought, okay, I am going to cover the area where the lattice is, where it pitches, so no more of that soil runs out of the garden. So what I did is, it's like making a raised bed. I covered it up all around with wood in the area that drops down, just in that area there. So that's to keep all of the rich soil that I'm purchasing, to keep it in the garden, so it's not like, you know, when we get the floods in Florida, that stuff is just not, you know, it's not moving the soil out. So, because I'm spending a lot of money on this. I just bought some garden soil the other day that I found for a good price, and I put that in, and that helped. I put some of that around the plants that were already planted that are there, so that they have some nutrients. I've been so I've been making my own compost tea. I've also been doing the weed tea as well. So what I do is, when I pull out the weeds, instead of going and throwing them out now, what I do is I soak them in a bucket with water, and in about 3 days I pour that water on my plants. It's rich in nitrogen and they enjoy it. I'm also taking urine. I'm doing the human manure thing, where I have a separate compost for our food scraps, and a separate compost that I have for the human manure. I'm going to start using this one, and that one I'm going to put some urine in there. Our manure is going to start going in there with the chicken manure and some other things, and that is for my fruit trees, because I noticed that my fruit trees, they went through some really bad stuff this winter. They're coming back, they're doing good, they've got enough water, but they really need to be fertilized with some really good stuff. So I'm also doing the chop, what is it called? The chop and drop is another thing. So when my garden was done and I still had a lot of leaves left from my squash plants, I did the chop and drop, which is you chop it up and you just let it sit as mulch around your whatever you have. My tomato plants, my watermelon plant, I let that sit there, and that stuff, as it decomposes, it starts filling nutrients. So all of that is working good. This is all stuff that I've been learning, and I'm so happy because it's all working out so well for me. I'm just so happy. I mean, I got a lot more to learn, but this is all work that you know, this is all the stuff that happens in the beginning years, and that's what is happening to me. This is all the beginning. Now, on top of all of this gardening stuff, well, I added to it because now I got chickens, right? How'd you get in here? So it's probably better to pace yourself. I did a video talking about pacing yourself, and I did not do a good job this year, because this year I went full steam with the whole homestead thing, and I was like, I'm gonna do my chickens. And it would have been better to do it once I had already captured all of the things, you know, about gardening and stuff, and done everything. But I'm doing all of this now because of the situation the country is in as well. And I really do want to have chicken layers. You know, chickens that lay eggs so that I can eat. And for me, I know there's people out there that are buying chickens. They'll go out and buy 50 chickens for the year, so they have a chicken a week. But that's not for me. I'm not at that level yet. Number one, I don't want to kill the chicken. I want to enjoy having actual chickens as pets and enjoying them laying. For me, it's better for me I feel to get protein from chicken eggs than it is from having to actually have a chicken. But I do have a rooster, so if things really do get bad, they could fertilize my chickens, and I will have the opportunity to have more chicks. And if it had to get to that point, I mean, I'm not going to starve. My family's not going to starve. I'm not going to choose a chicken over the health of my family, right? So those are the possibilities I have, but that's a process for me to go into. It's not like I'm going to have a chicken now. I'm going to grow 50 chickens and start chopping their heads off, you know, in about 6 weeks and start eating them. That's just not going to happen. So good for you all that you can do that. Most of you women, you have your husbands that do that for you. I don't have that luxury. So I'm just going to keep happy with the fact that I'm getting eggs. You know what I'm saying? I love hard-boiled eggs. I love fried eggs. I love scrambled eggs. I love everything eggs. So, and the great thing about that is also the eggs supply calcium to my plants. I also soak that in the compost, and you know, there's so many benefits to all of this. So this is all what I'm doing right now. This is my life. This is my passion right now, is to learn to do all of this and really do it this. And so right now I'm going to be building the chicken run, because the chickens are now 4 weeks this week, and they are getting big, and their poop is huge, and they got so much energy, and they know I got food, so they're on their way, and they just want to get out of that box. They're still too young to be sleeping on their own, but during the day I want to have them in the shed, get to know that that's their home, that's where they're going to be, that's where they're going to sleep. And then I'll put them into the brooder at night. I'll go in there. I want them to get used to going in there at night when it starts getting. Then I'll put them in the box, bring them into the garage. They can sleep there for the night. And in the morning I'll take the box out, bring it back to the shed, and then just let them out in the run during the day there. So those are my plans for now, because they're just getting too big. And they want to be out, and I have to be supervising them. And with the run, that's something I don't have to worry so much about. Like right now, I'm going out, and they're in the house inside the brooder, that little box. I mean, you know, we did change it up to the bigger box, but I'm not going to be back till probably 3. And I usually do 3 chicken forages a day, where I let them go out and forage during the day. So they go out, because when I wake up in the morning, I have them out till 10, 10:30. They're good. They get exhausted out there running around, and they're so happy. Then usually around 1 o'clock, I take them out again. And then the next one is usually closer to the end of the day, so they get really tired, and then they just want to go to sleep. So if I could take them out again another time in between, I will. I mean, it depends on how much stuff I have to do and stuff. A lot of times I always bring them under the trees, and I'll sit under there. She always comes first. And then Haven came next, and I had them here on my chest, and then they decided to go up to the roost. And then I have Evie up here, and I will do some work as they're with me. But a lot of times they actually come and they jump on top of me. Sometimes I'll have 4 chickens on top of me, and I call them and they come. You girls are naughty, you better come back. They got pretty far. Oh, look at the cow, they're coming back. You better get back, that you get a little too far. It's just been so nice. Oh, I gotta go in here. All right, guys, so I just wanted to give you an update of what's going on. So my garden is really not something that's going to thrive until the fall. I'm learning and I'm adapting and I'm doing all of these projects now before all of these people come, you know, and then while Christian is out of the house also, he's got his own things he's doing. So I've got to do my thing. I can't just be waiting around for people to do stuff. So anyway, guys, I will talk to you later. Thanks so much for watching. Hey, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.